can see some of the pictures. I can't look at some of the pictures that
you took together.
Yes. It's difficult for me to look. When we visited him and he paid the courtesy call, you know, there are pictures that we took. I can't look at those pictures. This is just unfortunate. We've lost two of our last three service chiefs now. Two of our last three Chief of Army staffs. We've lost them on active duty.
Oh, dear.
We lost Atahiru.
Yes. General Atahiru.
Yes, and I remember when I was, when I called the army spokesman then, that was army spokesman during Atahiru's time, I was weeping like a baby.
Oh dear.
But he showed courage. So I'm like, and at the point I told myself, it shouldn't be you. These are people closer to him than you are. It shouldn't be you at the other end crying.
Yes.
Because you can imagine what they've gone through. People like Brigadier General Olakunle Nafiu, he was the Chief of Staff to the Chief of Army Staff.
Okay.
I wonder how they are feeling. You know, his ADC, you know, all of them.
Sure.
People who had worked with him for years, people that he had mentored. So if I feel this bad that we have lost this man, how would they be feeling this time? It's painful. I can't call them. Because I'm an emotional person, I can't call them.
I understand. But Majid, Ike has said a lot about the late Chief of Army Staff. But in your opinion, let's talk about immortalization here. What do you think can be done to keep his memory alive?
Yeah. I wish the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, I wish him, I extend my condolence to him and all Nigerians. It's a great loss, and the only way we can sustain his legacy and immortalize him is to ensure that the professionalism and forthrightness which is building in the military is in the army is sustained.
Is sustained.
Yes, he had an ambitious plan for modernization and integration of the military, which he had started. And since he became COAS, you could see that it's been, there has been a reduction in the level of terrorism and kidnapping all over the country. And another thing which a retired general told me about him when we were discussing his passage this morning was that he said I should go and look at the code names given to most of the military operations. He said he is instructive to, some of these things. It's instrumental. So, instrumental to some of these things. So, that is it Operation Lafia Dole, which became Hadinkai, and Up Mesa, or Awatse, or Python Dance, or Crocodile Smile. Said all those operations, were carefully codenamed to suit a particular section of the country or the purpose for which the codes were given.
Okay.
It's been, it's a very sad day for the military.
Okay. So right about now, let's go down memory and share some of our discussion on his appointment and capacity as the Army Chief.
We've had a good number of brilliant officers who have worked in that theater that's in Borno State. And I can say General Chris Musa did a fantastic job. He's been transferred now to become the commander of the Nigerian Infantry Corps. There are so many of them that I'm proud of. in the army doing a good job. Raizugu, General Lagbaja. We have a very good set of soldiers that the president-elect can pick from.
General Lagbaja, there are some people that you make appointment and you start looking for their CV.
Yes.
To see what they've done. It's true. These are not the kind of people that look for their CV.
No.
Yes, I believe that the president got this right. Now, if you look at the
chief of... See the chief of defense staff behind me. That's sitting there.
That's January 2022.
Yes.
We are having the chief of army staff one time in charge of operations at the headquarters, or the army headquarters. General Taurid Abiodun Lagbaja is, in my view, the most courageous officer in the army today. I have no doubt at all in my mind that when we are talking about courage, fearlessness, Lagbaja is somebody that comes to mind, because this is an officer who joins the troops on the battlefield. He is not going to send you out and wait for you to bring stories. That's not Lagbaja. Lagbaja, we do is operations briefing on Monday. After the operations briefing, is going into the bush. He will come back on Sunday. He is coming back on Sunday is for him to be able to present the briefing for Monday. There are days when he will not even show up at all on Mondays for briefing. He's in the bush. Lagbaja will enter inside Beningwari to chase the bandits and come out at the Abuja Kaduna Expressway end.
That's the new chief of army staff?
That's him in front wearing, this is the way he dresses with the boys. He wears his t-shirt, he's going into the bush with them. Ask anybody in the army. That was why his appointment elicited jubilation across all the places where he has served. He served as a GOC, 82 Division.
Enugu.
Yeah, Enugu. He was the one who made it possible for that election to take place, governorship election. He promised that that election will be held, there will be peace, and because he's in charge of the whole area, and he delivered. Then in Kaduna, he told his staff, look, I want to be sending people.
So it's always leading like this?
Yes.
Going to battle?
He will go. I said he will stay in the bush for days. This is an unusual kind of officer. And as chief of operations of the army, he has focused on those areas where we had issues, and is doing his best. Especially this Brinigwari. Not many people can go to Brinigwari before now. Then when he was in Enugu, of course, he dealt with the unknown government. When you look at some of the states of the Southeast, you see that Enugu is relatively peaceful. You can't compare Enugu with Abia or Anambra. It's part of what he has done. He also has some history to his name. Having the privilege of serving as GOC in 2 different divisions. Having the privilege of serving as a commanding officer in 2 different battalions. They always find him useful to send him. There is no officer like General Lagbaja in the army today, and what has convinced me that Asiwaju knows what he's doing.
Oh yeah, Biko, may the soul of this fine soldier rest in peace.
Amen. Amen.
Wow, you said a lot. But anyway, let's move straight to our next conversation. Success, they say, is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. The reward for dedication, hard work, and persistence has been rightly bestowed on Blessing Mohammed as she receives the Maiden Journalist Hangout Prize for Best Graduating Student in Mass Communication at the Federal University, Lokoja. Blessing, who received the coveted prize a few days after the university's 8th convocation, expressed her determination to pursue a career in journalism. She appreciated journalist Hangout for recognizing her resilience and hard work. Now let's share this story by TVC News' Micah Ilya with you.
The 8th convocation ceremony of the Federal University Lokoja drew major highlights with 2,196 students bagged degrees across different fields of study. A few days after, Blessing Mohammed, who emerged as the Journalist Hangout Best Graduating Student in Mass Communication, is relishing this special moment organized by the school management as she formally receives her award. Presenting the award alongside his management team, Vice Chancellor of the university, Professor Olayemi Akinwumi, describes it as a symbol of high expectations for her future.
I want to use this opportunity to appreciate our Kolade Otitoju. I just spoke to him last year and I said that we have mass communication in the university, and for the good job he's doing there, I would like him to institute an award to the best graduating student. He was the one who suggested that instead of saying Kolade Otitoju, we should just say Journalist Hangout Best Graduating Student. So we are here today. It's a dream that has come to reality.
Other university leaders also praised the flagship current affairs program, describing the award as a motivation to achieve more.
On behalf of the university, just as the Vice Chancellor has stressed, I want to thank Journalist Hangout for this privilege, and we hope that he will continue to do more.
Faculty of Social Sciences, where the mass communication is housed, I want to say a very big thank you to Journalist Hangout. We are very grateful, and like our VC just said, it's a young university, it's a young faculty. We are turning out our first graduate.
Reflecting on her journey, Blessing says she is determined to contribute positively in the field of journalism and thank Journalist Hangout for recognizing her hard work.
A very big thank you to Journalist Hangout. I'm deeply grateful and humbled to have been recognized by Journalist Hangout.
As Blessing's achievement becomes a beacon of inspiration for other students, the Journalist Hangout team reiterates its commitment to rewarding excellence across board. Mike Edila, TVC News, Lokoja.
And cable, great quality, now with the new look.
Join the Valor Train to campus. National Orientation Agency NOA presents the 747 National Values Charter Campus Debates. All government tertiary institutions are invited to participate and compete for a grand prize of 20 million naira at the National Grand Finale. The competition starts in the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria. Capacity development training for 600 students. How to participate? Record a 3-minute video on the topic, the National Values Charter, striking the balance between government's promises and citizens' responsibilities in nation building. Send the video to the dedicated WhatsApp line on 08166362878. For more details, visit www.noa.gov.ng. Entry closes November 8, 2024.
Yes, a big congratulations to the students first, and also to Blessed Mohammed for, especially the winner, the maiden edition of the Journalist Hangout Prize. But first of all, let's start this way. What's the idea behind this prize?
Oh, it's about encouraging students to continue to pursue excellence. And when the management of the university approached me, because we come from the same little hometown, I said they wanted us to build a mass comm studio, for example, a studio where they can simulate programs and all that. And I said we didn't have that kind of money, but we can start from somewhere. So I looked at instituting that prize as a kind of a low-hanging fruit, since we didn't have the bulky pocket to be able to build a studio. So, I then suggested, okay, let's have two prizes. The Journalist Hangout Prize for best graduating student in mass comm, and the Journalist Hangout Prize for best in investigative journalism.
Oh, okay.
So the prize for investigative journalism would kick off next graduation.
Okay, next set. Okay.
Yes, because it came too soon. So, but at least for the best graduating student, there has to be a reward, and the reward is bigger than that of the best in investigative journalism.
Okay.
Because that is not the overall prize.
Exactly.
The overall prize is still what Blessing has claimed. So for Blessing, the price attracts 250,000 naira.
Oh, really? 250?
Yes, and the best student in investigative journalism, which is what I take seriously.
Okay.
Will go home with 200,000.
Oh,
so it's just our own way of contributing to the society, giving back to the society. Remember the girl that scored the highest in JAMB last year.
Okay.
We also gave her a prize.
Okay.
She came on the program. We gave her a prize. We are not just interested in doing an interview with her. We didn't even do an interview. But for coming first, we rewarded her. Sure. With I do not even remember.
Especially with the controversy of
at that time
that was trying to
Yes, so our own way of encouraging excellence without cheating. The other person was trying to cheat, but this girl didn't cheat, and she was overall tops in our country. So she got that Journalist Hangout Prize for coming first in JAM, the JAM or UME, for last year. So this is something that we'll continue to do. And I know that some TV stations now
would also want to.
Will be eyeing Blessing as a talent that can be owned to become a big journalist. Because for her to come tops in her course of study, she must be very brilliant. I think she's got a cumulative of 4.62 or so.
Oh, that's GPA.
Yes.
Yeah, which is quite high.
So, which is high. So, that's most probably a fantastic journalistic talent. But time will show to us just how good she is, and she's willing to practice journalism. So, we'll keep an eye on her, and we'll continue to give back to our society the little way that we can.
Majid, Blessing Mohammed getting that prize. But the reward for hard work is more work. But this time, the reward for her hard work, she got a big prize. What do you have to say to that?
Yes, I would say congratulations to Blessing Mohammed, and also congratulations to TVC and Babajide, who thought it fit to not personalize the award.
Yes, the VC said.
Yeah, the VC just said that I wanted an award that he will institute as Babajide. They said no. Let's institutionalize this. Let TVC and journalists hang out, make it a CSR, corporate social responsibility by institute. So it's a good one, and It's also a clarion call to other students to ensure, of mass comm and even other courses to excel in their studies, and that, somebody in one corner is just looking at them. Blessing Mohammed, what this is going to do for her, a lot of people will be looking for her, because this has brought her to
the limelight.
To the limelight. So many best students in several places, but then the advantage of TVC and Journalist Hangout, bringing her to the limelight, apart from the monetary award, you see other institutions, corporate bodies want to be interested in her. I'll say kudos to her, congratulations once again, and congratulations to the management of the university.
Thank you very much. And also, Vikel, yes, Oliver Twist. Will Journalists Hangout Prize for Best Student, would it go to other institutions as well, apart from, instead of just staying with FUL?
Oh, if they reach out to us, why not?
Oh, really?
Why not? I'll be happy to institute a prize in my alma mater, for example. I'll be happy to do it at Unilag. Why not? Because I have some very good friends at Unilag. Their former VC was very close to me and is still close to me. So even the current VC, she's someone who is close to me. So it's just to encourage these people, rather than taking to Yahoo, advanced fraud. Face your education squarely. All of the nonsense that education is a scam, we don't want to be hearing that. So we should reward those who have demonstrated academic excellence. So it's something that we'll continue to do. And I'm sure that I would also be encouraged by some of my friends who will be happy with what we have done. So many of them will...
I'll be extending to polytechnics as well.
I don't know if there's the polytechnic. You see, Mapoli.
That's my alma mater.
Is a great polytechnic. When it comes to mass communication, there are so many of them who have worked with me, who passed through that school, who have worked with me, even as a print journalist. Yes. So many of them work with me as a print journalist. They've worked with me here, and they are among the best that we've ever had. So such a school, constantly producing brilliant mass comm products, also deserves to be rewarded. Perhaps Majid will be taking a look at Mapoli and thinking of what you can do.
I really like that.
Sure. No, they call it Ojere. I have a lot of students who come to do intern with us from Nigeria, and normally they excel. And I'm not surprised that you are doing well.
Exactly. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. All right, let's move straight to our final conversation. In politics, the people always have the last word, and that word is cast on the ballot. In what has been described as a historic comeback in the United States politics, 74-year-old candidate of the Republican Party, Donald Trump, has won the presidential election to become the 47th president of America. Trump's victory was projected after securing the majority of key battleground states in a fiercely contested race against Kamala Harris, the Democratic candidate and incumbent vice president. In Congress, the Republicans also gained control of the U.S. Senate, while the House of Representatives is still up for grabs. Now let's hear from Trump.
Well, I want to thank you all very much. This is great. These are our friends. We have thousands of friends in this incredible movement. Our country has never seen before nothing like this. I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president and your 45th president. And every citizen, I will fight for you, for your family, and your future. Every single day, I will be fighting for you, and with every breath in my body, I will not rest until we have delivered the strong, safe, and prosperous America that our children deserve and that you deserve. This will truly be the golden age of America. That's what we have to have.
Now, this election outcome was in line with what Babajide and Majid hammered on during our discussion on the US election on Monday. Now, let's share part of the discussion with you.
Good, you have pledged your readiness. I expect this in the actions you will take in the field. I wish you the very best. My lines are open. If you have any...
Okay, we apologize for the mix-up there. But, Majid, were you surprised?
Well, I was not surprised. No, we were here on Monday.
Yes.
And we said elections could be funny. And I recall that we said it could go either way, that Trump might just win. I mean, and that was what just happened. And he didn't only win, he shattered a lot of records. It became one of the first, it became the second candidate to win a non-consecutive comeback. I mean, it was
the first in 130 years.
Yeah, in 130 years. The first in 130 years to do that. Then it became a candidate that won both the popular vote
and the Electoral College.
And he also secured majority in the Senate.
Yes.
Now, his party has flipped, has taken 5 seats from Republicans, from Democrats in the House of Reps. While the House of Reps has only taken 2. So they are very, very close to
dominating,
to having a majority in the House of Reps. They already established that in the Senate. So he also became the first president, the oldest president at 74 to emerge as a president-elect of the U.S. Although this is going to come with a lot of consequences for Americans, because as it is, what this election has shown is the fact that America is not ready for a female president. That is what this is. And if you look at the polls, the exit polls, it shows that he won more votes, like we were discussing, he won more votes in rural white suburbs. Rural white suburbs.
And that says a lot.
And he won more votes among those who are aged above 65. He won more votes with non-college voters, non-college educated voters. So, which means those who voted for him are purely like Marxists, and it's also a triumph of MAGA. They make America great again, supremacists. So it shows a lot of, when you look at the demographics, it shattered all records. 95% of those who are predicting gave it to Kamala Harris.
Exactly.
Although Obama's wife,
Michelle
Obama, gave a note of caution before she delivered a speech at the emergence of Kamala Harris, that this election is going to be very, very close, and they should not see it as in the fact that they should go out for each vote. But then where the Republicans had it was that when you look at the demographics of those new registrants for votes, those who are voting for the first time, those who just registered for votes, more Republicans registered for votes, especially in the swing states. And as we have seen now, Trump was able to take about 5 of the key swing states like Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. He took all those states. So, I mean, it might end up having like a 315, but as at now, I think it's still on 276.
270. You needed just 279.
Okay, it's on
You needed 250.
Yeah, you needed 270.
Okay, 270.
So, I mean, it's congratulations to him and congratulations to America.
Biko, why do you think Americans rejected the Democrats and rather went for, you know, the controversial Donald Trump?
You see, again, we are unable to play back some of what we said, which is really disappointing. We talked about the expectations of Nigerians, I mean of Americans.
Of Americans, okay.
There are many Americans who think that their country has become weak under democratic leadership. They want an America that when it speaks, the whole world,
you know,
we shake.
It's no longer the case. You can see China coming up strongly, India coming up strongly, Brazil coming up strongly.
Russia.
And Russia is still there, a threat. And Americans, especially those of them who are struggling, they can't explain why America is spending all that money on Ukraine when people are battling with interest rates and all that. Remember what Trump said. Trump said that he has not seen a salesman as good as the president of Ukraine. Every time he comes to their country, anytime he comes to their country, he goes back with $7 billion.
Exactly.
He has never seen a salesman that good. That was a way of telling the American people that, look, these people have not handled foreign relations very well. America is like the global leader.
Sure.
But they are not happy to see their country wasting funds on needless wars. The Democrats started the war. They went to what was it called? Libya. Look at the problem they caused for the rest of us. You know? And Trump, as much as you demonize him, just as we said here during that program, Trump did not start any war. He did not lead America to any war. In fact, he led the withdrawal of American troops from Afghanistan.
From Afghanistan, yes.
It was his program. You know? So many Americans, and the matter of abortion rights that Kamala Harris made so much noise about did not really resonate with the people. In fact, Joe Biden won more votes from women in 2020 than Kamala Harris won this year.
As a woman.
Being a woman.
As a woman.
So those who predicted that this would be a close race, they know that they got it wrong. The same way they got it wrong in 2016. Everybody said
it was going to be Hillary
Clinton. Yeah.
Now a man who is said to have routinely predicted correctly every presidential election in the U.S.
got this wrong. Yeah.
He got this one wrong. They sent they sent his video to me. This one, he got it wrong.
It's a professor.
There was a time that we were told that any match that this former captain of Libya, of Liverpool, starts for England, that they will not lose. Steven Gerrard. Later on, they started losing every time. So, Trump harped on the message, the economy. There's a need to fix the economy. He continued to boast that he ran the economy.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, maybe if they had chosen someone different without the Biden baggage.
Yeah.
And America is still a conservative society. That's what many people don't know. When we say to some of them that we do not think America is ready for a female president, they will say, what do you know about American politics? Go away. You think you know everything. So we kept quiet. You look at states like Ohio, Iowa, there are so many conservative, and a lot of those states where, those small states where you have a lot of cowboys. You know, like Oklahoma, the rest of them, they are very conservative. I was even surprised, again, to show you that this was not the election that they predicted. Trump got a lot of votes from blacks.
Yes.
Even black-dominated
Atlanta.
states.
Yes. Atlanta.
Latino-dominated states.
He won the Latino votes.
Winning. So what is the message?
More than 10%.
Because in the past we thought, oh, these are areas that the Democrats always do well.
Yeah.
The so-called democratic blue wall. It shattered the democratic so-called blue wall. Those were states that it was thought that you could never win. But he won those states. And the way he performed even in the key battleground states, you will know that he took this election seriously. Look at what FFK was saying. He said, this is the greatest comeback in the history of politics. There is nothing they did not do to stop him, including trying to jail and kill him. But the Lord was with him. The Lord was with him. That's a, you know, that's a FFK. FFK, you know. And you see, in every election year, Americans always have issues that bother them.
Yeah.
Immigration, for example.
Okay.
They believe that their country has become so wide open. Everybody
was just coming in.
And a lot of people coming in don't mean well.
Exactly.
He has said that he will fix that. They do not like the war going on in Israel, between Israel and the Arabs, Gaza, Lebanon, Southern Lebanon, all of those. They don't want those wars. They believe that Trump can put an end to those wars because he said something that, look, if he was president, that war between Russia and Ukraine would not even have started. You know? And many people thought, this madman in North Korea, how do you deal with him? He went to him. They were more or less like friends. So I think many Americans are convinced that he will provide strong leadership. You may hate him, but Trump is decisive.
Sure.
Trump is decisive. For me as a Nigerian, I'm always happy to recall that he sold Tucano jets to us. Our own black brother, refused to sell weapons to us. They cited the Leahy Law. But this person came working with the Republican caucus in their Congress. They bypassed the Leahy Law and sold weapons to Nigeria. So, to me, it did us a favor. Today, the threat that Boko Haram used to constitute in Borno State, the threat is gone. And it is down to precision bombing because that was the kind of weapon that we didn't have. A weapon that will give you the kind of accuracy that will even save the lives of your pilots, your troops. Tucano had that precision capability. And Trump sold it to us. He said, don't worry, I will help you to defeat terrorism. Our president visited him, and our president came back smiling. He sold weapons that they didn't sell, that Obama refused to sell to Jonathan. You know? So, I believe that the Americans have spoken. Americans have spoken, and it's the beauty of democracy. Somebody said that he's waiting for Kamala Harris to call Trump.
You know, to concede defeat and all.
I think that given the fact that this was not a close race at the end of the day,
she won't have a choice.
You are defeated with several millions in the popular vote. In fact, this morning it was above 5 million.
Yeah, you're up to now, as at 4:30, it was 5.2 million difference.
So you are defeated, popular vote. Defeated in the electoral college count. He won far more states than you.
That says a lot.
So he has taken over the Senate. It's in the verge of taking over reps.
Okay.
It's even good if he takes over reps, then he'll be able to push his agenda.
Okay, but let's bring it down to Nigeria now. The American election, yes, most times we're always interested in it. But looking at the process of carrying out election in the US, what, in your opinion, can Nigeria learn or adopt?
No, you say, no. You know what brought us to the American election on Monday was the Ondo election.
The Ondo election, exactly.
And we said debates don't win elections.
Yes.
Donald Trump lost.
He lost that debate.
That debate to Kamala Harris, and he said he was not going to debate again.
Clinton won debate.
Clinton won debates, but he didn't win the election.
Al Gore won debate.
So,
a poor debater.
Now, in fact, what the debate succeeded in doing was to throw away Joe Biden and elevate. But then, whichever way, it was like a catch-22 situation for the Democrats. Sure. Whichever way, in fact, the Democrats will have suffered a worse loss if it was Joe Biden.
Yes.
So it would have been worse than this. So it was, I mean, like, Ari, but then the lessons for us in Nigeria, especially for INEC, look at about 150 million people voted. 83 million people voted before election day.
86.
Okay. 86 million voted before the D-Day. And in less than 7 hours,
we know the winner.
We know the winner.
Of course. So it is a lesson for INEC that we need. I mean, of course, they have been doing it with some.
We need electoral integrity.
That people can see and appreciate. I mean, it will be foolhardy for Kamala Harris to say she wants to challenge this election.
No,
they should just call it Trump.
It's not a close.
All right, thank you, gentlemen.
You are my leader.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Majid Jami, appreciate you as always. Thank you very much for having this conversation. BKO, the veteran, thank you so much. And, you know, the emotional part when we're talking about the late general, I just hope that his family will, you know, have the fortitude to bear the loss. And that's it on Journalist Hangout today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode tonight at 11 and join us on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangout on Sunday. We are on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Benga Oreshegun. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.
Calling Bastion HMO.
Thank you. Now that was my health insurance partner. Yeah, I was just as skeptical as you were about health insurance until I tried Bastion HMO. I got a healthcare plan that's right for me and my family. I have access to top quality healthcare services and facilities. We also get access to over 1,700 hospitals and clinics. Call 0800 Bastion, Bastion Health, the HMO that puts you in control.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. At ShopX TV, our customers are the heart of everything we do. As a special thank you for your continued support, we are offering our customers 10% off on selected products from now till November 15th. That's right, shop now and save big on some of your favorite items while stock lasts. Don't miss out on this opportunity to grab amazing products at unbelievable prices. First is our amazing 4-in-1 CookX blender. It's a food processor, a grinder, a blender, and a juicer all in one. The CookX 4-in-1 blender comes with 3 versatile cup sizes, each crafted to handle special tasks perfectly. Imagine effortlessly whipping up smoothies that are truly smooth, pounded yam and soups that are flawlessly pounded and blended. You would normally pay 189,950 Naira for the CookX 4-in-1 blender, but call the number on your screen right now or scan the QR code and get it for just 170,995 Naira. Incredible! And that's not all. You can get the CookX 4-in-1 blender in 2 easy payments of 85,498 Naira. That's right, pay twice to get this amazing cooking solution. And we are not done yet. ShopX TV is proud to introduce the ShopX Ultimate Crunch Exercise Machine. The 6-in-1 machine is designed to take your fitness to the next level. No need to worry about expensive gym fees. You can now work out from the comfort of your home and achieve results. With Ultimate Crunch cutting-edge technology, you can transform your body. Its enhanced features deliver a full body workout that's efficient, effective, and enjoyable. The secret is its advanced design that combines multiple exercise models into one unit. The versatile machine features adjustable resistance levels, an ergonomic design, and a built-in digital tracking system that displays speed, time, distance, and calories burned. From sculpting your abs to toning your legs, upper body, and strengthening your core, you would normally pay up to 449,950 naira for the ShopX Ultimate Crunch. But for a limited time only, call the number on your screen now or scan the QR code and get the ShopX Ultimate Crunch at 404,955 naira. Incredible! And that's not all. You can get the ShopX Ultimate Total Crunch in 2 easy payments of 202,478 naira. That's right, pay twice to get this amazing fitness solution. But hurry, limited stocks available. So call the number on your screen now or scan the QR code or visit our website to place your order while stock lasts. The proceeding was a paid presentation brought to you by ShopX TV.
Every major news story is with many perspectives and layered with different levels of impact.
Hello. What time did the
news? First, with breaking news.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Sometimes it's the story that calls. At other times, the people just want to be heard.
School, I need students, but I need teachers.
Can't continue like this.
Their voices re-echoing through time itself.
We haven't done anything. If the tide is high, everybody run for safety.
Their tears leave a sweet sour taste for all their demands. A familiar call beckoning for change. In our world, no one expects a disaster to happen. But when it does, we'll be there to x-ray all sides, from the east to the west, north and south. Community Forum will examine the oddities and challenges to economic development, as well as issues yearning for government intervention. Watch fresh episodes of Community Forum on Sunday by 9:30 p.m. only on TVC News.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first.
Inflation will end. Your taxes will be cut massively.
We need a president who works for all the American people.
Hello everyone, it's the day after the US election and what some termed the impossible has happened. Donald Trump will now become the first US president to win non-consecutive terms in more than a century. It's the only president to be impeached twice, the first former president to be criminally convicted, but all of that didn't stop him from exceeding the required 270 electoral votes and this time also winning the popular votes. The margin of win, according to Donald Trump himself, is expected to increase in the coming hours. Welcome again to America's Choice. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. Let's begin with some details now on the U.S. election in this report.
States of America. Donald Trump has emerged president of the world's leading nation, the United States of America, after a keenly contested election that left the world wondering where the pendulum will swing. In his early victory speech, Mr. Trump could not hide his win being a pleasant surprise to him and a political victory for America as never seen in the nation's political history. He promised to fight for America and to ensure people do not enter the nation illegally. Mr. Donald Trump emphasized that America is in its golden age and his incoming administration will make the nation great again.
We overcame obstacles that nobody thought possible, and It is now clear that we've achieved the most incredible political thing. Look what happened. Is this crazy? But it's a political victory that our country has never seen before, nothing like this. I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president and your 45th president. And every citizen, I will fight for you, for your family, and your future. Every single day I will be fighting for you, and with every breath in my body, I will not rest until we have delivered the strong, safe, and prosperous America that our children deserve and that you deserve. This will truly be the golden age of America. That's what we have to have.
Donald Trump told a large crowd of his supporters in West Palm Beach in Florida that he took a hit at picking J.D. Vance as his running mate, and he turned out to be a good pick. He thanked his family, campaign team, and large supporters for an unprecedented mandate given him that will be well used.
This is a magnificent victory for the American people that will allow us to make America great again. And in addition to having won the battleground states of North Carolina, these places, Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, we are now winning in Michigan, Arizona, Nevada, and Alaska, which...
Voice of America White House correspondent Anita Powell joins me again on the program. Anita, thank you for joining us. A lot has happened since the last time we spoke. I remember you calling the White House the center.
Good afternoon. Pleasure to be with you.
Indeed. I remember you calling the White House the center of the political hurricane on Election Day. It does seem the current occupants have now been unexpectedly swept out by this hurricane, right?
I'm sorry. I didn't hear that last part, but indeed the current occupants will be leaving the White House in January when Donald Trump takes office. Sorry about that. 18 people are calling me at once. It's a very busy day in America. But so far we haven't heard from President Biden, but we do expect to hear from Vice President Kamala Harris later this afternoon when she gives remarks about what happened last night and her election loss to Donald Trump. So expect to hear that in hours from Vice President Kamala Harris.
And then Trump, in his victory speech, has called this the greatest political moment of all time. And there is no doubt this is an historic feat. He would now be the first president to win non-consecutive terms in more than a century. There's no arguing his popularity and rightful place in the U.S. history now. Do you agree?
I think it's fair to say that this was really a remarkable event that happened last night, and that Donald Trump is a remarkable American. And Americans showed that they believe that and believe he should be the leader of this country last night. It was a decisive victory. I think it's a very free, fair, open, safe election. The institutions held, and the American people have spoken.
Is it possible, Anita, that the Democrats largely underestimated Trump's popularity amongst the people in this election? They spoke a lot about him being the only president to have been impeached twice, the first former president to be criminally convicted, and how much of a loose cannon he's been. It also seems that the pollsters got the predictions wrong again this time, Anita.
I want to correct you on that. The pollsters didn't get the predictions wrong again. The pollsters said it was going to be a tight race ahead of the race, and then they said it, but it's not clear that one side is going to, that it's going to be tied at the end, that one side is going to triumph, and that is exactly what happened. So what the pollsters predicted is what came to pass. So the pollsters were actually correct this time, as weird as that sounds, when saying that it was a tightly locked race, but that one side was probably going to triumph in the end, which is what happened. Now, as to your question about whether the Democratic side underestimated Trump's appeal. I think that's clear. The results speak for themselves.
Is this race still being considered a tight one? Trump says he's winning Michigan, Arizona, Nevada, and Alaska, which would result in him having at least 315 electoral votes. Are you saying pollsters anticipated that he could have a landslide in the battleground states?
I want to wait until the results come out before we make that judgment call. So I want to wait on that. Ask me again in a few weeks, or in a few months, or in a few years. But I think what just needs to be remembered today is that he did win the necessary 270 electoral college votes required to clinch the presidency.
And add to that, he's also, as we speak, currently leading with the popular votes. Do you consider it weird that Vice President Kamala Harris hasn't conceded defeat and congratulated President Trump?
I think she's going to speak in a few hours, and I will let her speak to that. The results came in quite late last night. We were all watching until quite late in the evening. So maybe 2 a.m. wasn't an opportune moment for her to speak. But she will be speaking in coming hours, and she'll address that directly, I expect.
VOA White House correspondent Anita Powell, thank you so much for talking to us.
A pleasure.
Yes. We'll take a short break now. When we return, we'll be looking at the Trump presidency, what it means for U.S. global relations and geopolitics. Stay with us, everyone.
Inflation will end. Your taxes will be cut massively.
We need a president who works for all the American people.
Professor of Political Economy and International Relations with the Department of Political Science, University of Lagos, Professor Babatunde Babawale joins me on the program this evening. Prof, thank you for joining us. Good to have you. I'm sure you've been following very closely, like every other person, the U.S. election. Is it clear why Kamala Harris lost? I've heard people reference race and gender, but what would you say is the significant factor that played out in this election? Professor Babawale. Professor Babawale, I'm asking what you consider the significant factor that played out in how the U.S. election turned out today. Well, the prof apparently cannot hear me. We're going to work on that connection and return as we continue to explore what the Trump presidency means for the global world, especially as regards some major issues that stakeholders are following, Israel's war in Gaza, peace in the Middle East, and what have you. But world leaders are already reacting to the emergence of President Trump for a second time, and we have some details of that in this report.
President Bola Tinubu has congratulated President Donald Trump on his election as the 47th President of the United States of America. In a statement, President Tinubu says he looks forward to strengthening economic ties between Nigeria and the United States, as well as the promotion of peace between both nations amid the tackling of global challenges. Beyond Nigeria, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Hungary's Viktor Orban have been among the first world leaders to congratulate the U.S. President-elect Donald Trump on his victory. Mr. Netanyahu described Donald Trump's win as history's greatest comeback, adding that his return to office offers a new beginning for America. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban, who was the first and only EU leader to back him in 2016, described his election as a much-needed victory for the world. UK Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer says he looks forward to working with Donald Trump in the years ahead. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz congratulated Trump, adding that Germany and the US have for a very long time successfully worked together to promote prosperity and freedom on both sides of the Atlantic. The French President Emmanuel Macron also congratulated Donald Trump on his victory, saying he was ready to work together with him just as before, with respect and ambition for more peace and prosperity. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte says Mr. Trump's leadership will again be key to keeping the military alliance strong. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said on X, "I appreciate President Trump's commitment to the peace through strength approach in global affairs. This is exactly the principle that can practically bring just peace in Ukraine closer." The spokesperson of the Russian government, Dmitry Peskov, says he is not aware of the president's plan to congratulate Mr. Trump on the election because the US is, quote, "an unfriendly country," end quote. The European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, in her congratulatory message to Trump, said the EU and the US were more than just allies. Italian Prime Minister has also congratulated Mr. Trump on his victory.
Professor Babatunde Babawale is a professor of political economy and international relations. Thank you for joining us on the program this evening. Donald Trump did not only have more than the required 270 electoral votes, this time is also leading with the popular vote. So what do you consider the significant factors in this election?
Thank you very much for having me. Olatunde Babawale. I think what I consider to be significant factors in Trump's victory are the fact that he exploited what I call the base instinct in the people, especially in terms of his scary or scaremongering tactics when he campaigned about immigration and his promise to ensure that he did the most massive deportation in history in America against undocumented immigrants, largely because he raised a lot of issues about people eating cats and dogs. He raised issues about immigrants that are undocumented, causing a lot of violence. All of those appeal to the base instinct of the people who felt that their problems could be attributed to the influx of immigrants, which I think is not entirely correct. The second point has to do with the fact that there is, in actual fact, a problem with inflation. Prices of groceries in the U.S. are high, and though inflation is not at a runaway level, it is something that Americans find rather uncomfortable. And when Donald Trump preached against the inflationary problem that they are confronted in America, it appealed to the people. And I think this is one of the reasons why he recorded that victory.
Absolutely, Prof. He just simply asks them, do you think your life is better today than it was 4 years ago? And with inflation, the answer is very clear for everyone to see. But let's explore U.S. global relations under this new dispensation. How will the Trump presidency impact, for instance, on the ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict, considering what has been a significant deterioration of the U.S.-Russia relations over the years? If I can possibly just get a reaction from the Russian government, the Kremlin spokesperson, Dmitry Peskov, was asked why President Putin hasn't congratulated President Trump yet. And here's what he said: "Let's not forget what we are talking about, an unfriendly country that is both directly and indirectly involved in the war against our state." It seems Putin and Trump aren't as close friends as many of the world like to think it. Right, Prof?
It is difficult to reach that conclusion yet. Putin is a master of mind games. And I think if you look at what he did during the electioneering campaign, during these elections in America, he played a lot of mind games. He's been reported to have said he was going to support Kamala Harris. In fact, announced that he was supporting her, which was a kind of paradox. Secondly, there are reports about some attacks on, some fake videos circulating about so-called rigging of elections, which were traced to the Russians. So what I'm saying, therefore, is that it is difficult to say whether the relationship between Trump and Putin have gone frosty. And don't forget that when Donald Trump was asked during this campaign whether he had spoken to Putin since he left office, he avoided the question completely, meaning that he probably had spoken to him. Now, what am I saying here? What I'm saying here is that, yes, it is true traditionally Russia and America are rivals. They are likely to remain so in the game of power and control of global politics and economy. However, you recall that the most important dispute at issue here has to do with the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Now, President-elect, President-to-be Donald Trump promised he was going to resolve the conflict within 24 hours. How he's going to do that, nobody knows.
It's very simple, Prof. I think his idea is to not give a cent or a dollar to Ukraine and automatically the war will end. Do you envisage that will definitely end this war?
I'm not sure whether it will end the war, but it will affect the war in several ways. I suspect that Ukraine will not have as much of the support in terms of monetary support and military aid that it used to receive from Russia. And that itself will have implications for the relationship with NATO. Don't forget that Donald Trump is not a multilateralist when you talk in terms of diplomacy, international diplomacy. He's an isolationist who believes that America should lock itself within its walls and be largely unconcerned about what happens to people outside. And that in itself is dangerous for the world, given the strategic position of America and current nature of politics at the global level.
Time will tell, Prof, if we'll see the Trump administration continue to impose sanctions on Russia, similar to what has been implemented since the annexation of Crimea in 2014. But I'd like us to quickly speak to how this presidency will affect geopolitical concerns in places like the Middle East, right? Trump's presidency's influence on Israel-Gaza conflict, for instance. He has a strong support for Israel, similar to previous administrations. What do you think is going to happen differently?
For me, Trump is a very consistent, almost uncompromising supporter of Israel. He was the one that moved the capital to Jerusalem during his first incarnation. So I suspect that that support will continue. But I also think that this is victory may further embolden Israel in its truculence and warmongering. I hope it does not, or I hope Trump does not insist on giving such unconditional, unrestrained support to Israel in order to ensure that the world is safe from war. But one thing I have noticed, which may happen at the end of the day, it doesn't seem to me like Trump wants war at the international level. It may use some kind of some bravado or braggadocio, but I don't think it will encourage war to happen. But of course, war may happen unconsciously if he continues giving Israel the nod to do what it's like in the Middle East. So he said that he was going to end the conflict. I think we are waiting to see how he's going to do it. But it's a very complicated issue. He has not committed himself to a two-state solution like others have done.
Indeed,
I don't know if America under him is going to insist in pursuit of that line of foreign policy.
We'll see.
It's a situation that is hazy, that is unclear, that is at the moment inchoate.
Prof, I have just about 2 more minutes, and I want to squeeze in 2 questions before we go. There are concerns about the America-Africa relations under the Trump presidency. You remember the shithole controversy, and he's saying America first. It's about making America great again. What is the impact of this America first policy on Nigeria's economic and political interest, for instance?
I think that we've enjoyed some cordial relationship with the U.S. since our independence in 1960 in the area of bilateral relations on issues of security, on issues of trade, health, security, and humanitarian issues, economic growth, and of course, democracy and human rights protection. I think these are areas where we have cooperated at the level of cultural relations. We have also exchanged some a very cordial relationship as well. But my fear is that in the course of the campaign, Africa did not feature, except when it derisively referred to Congo. So I'm not sure that we're on the priority list of President Trump. We have never been on the priority list of the U.S., but at least I have not seen him make any commitment to Africa. Indeed. However, if we look at the U.S. export to Nigeria in 2022, standing at about $3.4 billion, it is in the interest of America to further deepen the relationship between us so that we can become maybe the major export destination of the U.S. in sub-Saharan. As of 2022, we are the second. If Trump still wants to make America great, he needs the support of Nigeria, especially given our own strategic positioning in the West African region and Africa at large.
We're looking forward to that and see how Nigeria can also take advantage of it. Quickly before we go, there are talks about the significance of the Electoral college system in America, where voters go out not necessarily to vote the president, but to vote electors. Do you think it is of so much significance that the African continent can buy this idea themselves?
There are too many pitfalls with the Electoral college system. For me, it's just an indication of the tyranny of the minority and giving the people the illusion that they are electing president, when actually it's a handful of people who constitute themselves into the Electoral college and are called electors who eventually elect the American president in the name of the people. And that's why there has always been a contradiction between the popular vote and the electoral vote. Recall that in 2016, when Donald Trump contested with Hillary Clinton won the popular vote and Donald Trump won the electoral vote and Donald Trump won the election. It is only now that we are seeing Donald Trump going away with the trophy for both the popular vote and the electoral vote. I will not recommend it because it defies what democracy actually preaches. Democracy is said to be government of the people.
All right.
And what we have is the people investing their power, their voices, their authority in a few individuals who have the right to use it. In fact, they are not constitutionally bound to go one way or the other. So I think the lesson in the Americans is that for democracy in every country, we must devise a system that works for us. There is no single format for democracy. There is no formula for democracy. Every formula that will be applied must be relevant to the circumstances and the realities of the situation that is defined.
We have completely run out of time. Professor Olatunde Babawale, Professor of Political Economy and International Relations with the University of Lagos. Thank you so much for talking to us.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
That's our show today, everyone. You can watch it again at midnight and at 6 a.m. tomorrow. I am Nifemi Oguntoye.
Your taxes will be inflation will end. Your taxes will be cut massively.
We need a president who works for all the American people.
Information is power, information is security, information is knowledge. On Labor Lens, we believe that working people around the world have real questions of their own. They want to know how the world of work operates, what it means to the employer of labor, how policies affect workers in the workplace. On Labor Lens, I am sure we engage effectively the organized labor, organized private sector, and government to get out of them information workers are in need of. I am Sharon Ijason, asking questions that make you get sense of the workplace. Voted as the best TV station of the year. TVC News breaks into the core of every event as they happen. Following all nationwide big and impactful stories. Without the news from every perspective, covering every human angle. I am Veronica, bringing you the news you would want to watch.
Every weekday on Business Nigeria, we uncover the secrets of the financial world.
We analyze the stock market, shares, bonds, and the thrilling world of cryptocurrency.
Facts matter. Our team dives deep to separate fact from popular opinion.
We simplify complex government policies as it impacts your everyday life, helping you navigate the ever-changing financial landscape.
Watch Business Nigeria every weekday at 2 p.m. only on TVC News, first with breaking news.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Joining us for another exciting episode of Confluence State today. I am Mimi Adiribigbe, your guide to the latest development in Kogi State under the visionary leadership of Governor Usman Ahmed Ododo. As always, we'll be highlighting some of Governor Ododo's remarkable strides in advancing economic growth, uplifting lives, and improving the welfare of the people of Kogi State. Here's a look at what to expect on today's show. The Zone 8 Crusher House of Assembly High Court Road is taking a new look as contractors lay asphalt on the remaining sections of the road, with finishing touches being put on the newly constructed roundabout. Residents of Lokoja and its environs commend Governor Usman Ahmed Ododo for reviving the State Water Corporation as the supply of potable pipe-borne water begins. Plus, civil servants and members of civil society groups in Kogi State applaud Governor Ododo's approval of a new minimum wage of 72,500 naira. We've got all of these stories and much more coming your way in just a moment. Let's begin with our first story. The supply of potable pipe-borne water is one of the priorities of Governor Usman Ahmed Ododo's administration in Kogi State. And I can tell you that he's been recording tremendous success in this sector. For instance, the State Water Corporation is now actively pumping water to residents of Lokoja and its environs. The governor is also ensuring the provision of boreholes to communities that are not connected to the state through the agency of his government called RUWASA. Now, residents of the state are praising Governor Usman Ahmed Ododo for providing them with this essential commodity.
Let us talk about social service delivery in Kogi State, shall we? Governor Usman Ahmed Ododo of Kogi State knows very well that water isn't just a basic necessity. It is the lifeblood of his economic vision for Kogi State and its people. And since assuming office, Governor Usman Ahmed Ododo has been burning the midnight oil, working tirelessly to ensure water flows where it is needed most across the state. His first goal is to ensure that every household has access to clean, drinkable water, and he wasted no time in picking up where his predecessor left off, approving the rehabilitation of the Greater Lokoja waterworks, which had taken a serious hit after the devastating 2022 floods. Fast forward to today, and 95% of the work is done. A large percentage of residents of the state now enjoy access to clean, potable water, and the remaining areas are not far behind.
The moment as we speak now, the alternative solution is almost at 95% completion. That is the old waterworks coming up to provide water to the larger population of the town, which we test ran on, I think on Saturday. We test ran. Water went to one of the reservoirs, and as it is, we were upgrading, refurbishing the old one, which was ab initio designed for a smaller population of the town with old pipelines.
Residents of Lokoja and its surrounding areas are expressing their gratitude to Governor Usman Ahmed Ododo's administration, recognizing him as a leader who not only fulfills his constitutional responsibilities but also understands their needs and is committed to addressing them promptly.
My appreciation goes back to His Excellency Alhaji Ahmed Usman Ododo. I call him a saint. He's a mizar to all Kogats. Not just ordinary water, potable water is one of these among his campaign mandates, promises, and he has started doing that. And in water, what he has started it well. He has put in all his bets, every resources to see he gave all Kogites potable water.
Not just in the aspect of the water, but we want to thank the governor massively. He's making the job easy for the party members. Ahmed Usman Ododo is a common name now in every household. So in the aspect of the water, he's so doing well. He has commit a lot of resources on the aspect, not just in the state capital, but in various local government.
Once again, we are grateful to Governor Usman Ododo for giving us water. Water is life.
But Governor Ododo is not stopping there. He understands that not all communities are connected to the state's main water supply, so he created the Rural Water Supply and Sanitation Agency, a specialized body tasked with bringing clean water and modern sanitation to rural areas. This agency is not just sitting on its hands. So far, they have hit the ground running in at least 8 communities, installing solar-powered boreholes and commissioning modern public latrines. Slowly but surely, they are turning the governor's master plan into a reality.
Also appreciate His Excellency Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo, who has in his well-deserved and in his own thinking and in his own capacity decided to make funds available for this project. We sincerely appreciate him.
The provision of water for agriculture and recreation is priority to Governor Usman Ododo's government. He is fully aware of the untapped treasures Kogi has. With mighty River Niger, River Benue, and multiple dams scattered across the state, his goal is to harness these natural resources for the state's economic development. The state government is not embarking on these lofty initiatives alone. A partnership with the World Bank through the Sustainable Power Integration in Nigeria project is also underway. This ambitious plan will tap into Kogi's 8 dams to provide